Good afternoon.
Hello. Good
Prathama.
afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay. Prathama,
Yes,
when
sir.
is your interview?
The date is not out yet.
Okay. Tell us something about yourself.
So my name is Prateekshya Pradhan. I belong to Kadahandi district of Odisha. I've completed my graduation in agriculture from College of Agriculture, OUT, Bhabanipatna. Thereafter, I'm preparing for UPSC Civil Service examination. And my hobbies are reading books and listening to Hindi songs.
How many times have you given the exam?
So it's my first attempt.
First attempt. So it's very creditable
Yes, sir.
that you've come right up to the interview stage. Okay, now
Thank you,
let
sir.
me begin my questioning. Your name is actually PPP, isn't it? So what does PPP
Yes, sir.
stand for? What does PPP stand for?
Purchasing power parity
That is one.
in economic terms.
And
Yes, sir.
other, do you know any other PPP?
No, sir, I'm not able to recall.
Okay, public-private partnerships. Okay, public-private partnerships.
Yes, yes,
Can you give me
yes,
any
sir, yes, sir.
examples of public-private partnerships?
Sir, presently our airports, which are the major airports that are being developed by means of public-private partnership, and some brownfield and greenfield project are also developed by public-private partnership.
Can you be more specific?
Um, Sorry, sir, I'm not able to recall now.
No problem. Tell me, what is POXO? What
Yes,
is
sir.
POXO? Full form? What is
So prevention. Yes,
Yes.
Prevention of Child from Sexual Offences Act.
Is it prevention?
Sorry, sir, Protection of Children from
Protection of
Sexual
children.
Offences Act.
Okay. Can you name
Yes, sir.
some? It is made child friendly. Can you give me 2 or 3 instances of what are the child friendly features of POXO? Do you know?
So first thing that the identity of children is to be hidden here. And the second thing that stringent punishment are there to prevent any sexual offences against the children. And it is also gender neutral. It aims to protect both the boys and the girls.
Okay. Now, the MMR, what is the MMR? What is it, the full form of MMR?
Maternal mortality rate. Maternal mortality rate.
Rate. Okay. How
Sorry,
is
sir.
it defined? How is it defined?
So it is the ratio of the number of deaths among the pregnant women out of the 1 lakh women in the childbearing age group.
So is it the number of births? Is it from the number of births or the number of women who are in that age group?
The number of women who are in that age group.
Number of women, are you sure?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, sir, I'm not
Let's
sure.
leave that. Tell me the reasons for reduction of MMR. The MMR has gone down quite a lot over the years. Can you
Yes,
give
sir.
me the reasons for reduction of MMR?
So one thing that the healthcare infrastructure that is being reaching to people, and also the ASA and Anganwadi workers are quite playing a proactive role in especially the rural areas where they are ensuring that the institutional deliveries do take place. And also nutrition is one of the other factor.
Can you tell me of any scheme for mothers?
Sir, Pradhan Mantri Matru Bandhana Yojana.
What are the main features of the scheme?
Sir, conditional cash transfer is being done in case of the pregnant woman is going to the hospital and doing regular checkups. In regular interval, it is done.
Okay, now tell me, who was the originator of Sudoku? You are fond of the
Sir,
Sudoku?
yes, sir. Sir, it was actually originated in France, but it was popularized in Japan by Miyakaji. Sorry,
By?
sir.
By whom?
By sorry, sir, I'm not able to recall the exact name.
Okay.
Japan by.
So can you name some famous documentaries which have been made in India and which have won international acclaim?
Sir, one I have recently seen is a period's breaking of the or giving wings to the girls, which is about increasing menstrual awareness among girls. And the one I've seen recently is Raja Rasoi or Anya Kahaniyan.
Okay. Which is India's entry for best documentary in the Oscars?
Not aware, sir.
Okay. Last question is, why is Kalahandi famous or infamous?
Sir, contemporarily it was mostly infamous, I would say, because of hunger death and hunger related death. But I think this instances has been changing nowadays, and people are not as dying presently because of hunger or any such thing now.
What are
So
the
it is improving, I would say. Sorry, sir.
What are the reasons for improvement?
So I would say the presently past few years, lift irrigation system has been provided in Kalahandi, which has increased its agricultural productivity, and also that the PDS systems and the NFSA National Food Security Act is working quite well, and I think those are the reasons why the hunger related deaths are declining. And
Thank you. Thank you.
thank you, sir.
Prathama, you've given your second preference is foreign service. So,
Sorry, ma'am.
Pardon?
Hello.
You have given your second preference as the foreign service.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're ready to move out of the country? Have you thought about that? You'll be away from the country?
Yes, ma'am. I believe it would give me an opportunity to present my country in the international forums, and I would help in bridging the gap between my country and some other countries. So I think I should work in that.
You should be able to go.
Yes, ma'am.
What is the reason that women have been held back in India or anywhere else in the world over the years? What is the main reason?
Ma'am, patriarchy is the main and I think the most important reason why women are held back.
So
and generally, women are.
Is resignation a solution?
Yes, ma'am. Up to a certain extent, a reservation can help, but it is not the panacea for women empowerment, because I think women need to come to the fore, and women need to encourage other women by establishing certain role models. Like things, so that women would come out of the backward mindset and they would enter into different fields.
And what do you think about India's foreign policy over the last 75 years? Can you quickly give me the main points of its evolution? And what do you think of the current approach that India is taking in its foreign relations and its foreign policy?
Ma'am, I think India, since the era of independence, has focused mostly on ensuring that democracy is maintained even in the international forum. It believes that every country is given equal opportunity despite having the despite different economic situation of the same, and every country should enjoy the sovereignty in taking its decision. It has been the core in India's foreign policy since the day of independence, and presently India has focused. I think India has been focusing on ensuring that it takes its foreign policy decision based on its national interest to fulfill the needs of its people first, and it keeps that in priority.
But over the years, what are the different key elements of India's foreign policy? Has there been continuity in change, or has there been drastic changes, or what do you feel in the last 75 years?
I don't feel that there has been any drastic change. We can say that there has been a gradual change. We have been asserting our stand more these days, but the viewpoint of our foreign policy has more or less remained the same.
What has remained the same? No?
Sorry, ma'am?
Repeat that. I didn't get what you said. The viewpoint.
When I said, Yes, yes, ma'am. The viewpoint have remained more or less same,
What
but
is
we are quite assertive.
what
A
is
viewpoint means, as I said, ma'am, earlier, that India focuses on ensuring democracy even in multilateral forums, and it doesn't want any other country to impose its wishes or wills on any other country. Every country should be taking a sovereign decision based on its national interest.
which is happening in any case, isn't it?
Yes,
National
ma'am.
interest is paramount in everybody's foreign policy, including in India's. But now,
Yes,
what are
ma'am.
we? Now, are we? What was our stand during the Ukraine and Russian war? A lot of people
Yes, ma'am.
criticize India's stand and India's position. So,
Yes, yes, ma'am.
what are your views on that? You agree with the criticism,
Ma'am, I believe that
which is the right thing to do?
no, ma'am, I do not agree with the criticism, because I believe India again took its interest based on its national. India took its decision based on its national interest, because for India, Russia has always withstood as a reliable partner, even during the times when West was not so much in sync with India's stance in post-independence period, and after that, even when India took oil. Presently, India is importing oil from Russia at a cheaper price. Then it is also to make sure that the people of India get the oil at a cheaper price, and they do not have to pay high amount of prices, which is prevailing in the OPEC, which is prevailing in the other markets.
But why do you think India now has? I mean, people are listening to India. Why do you think that has changed? Before, India's voice was usually everybody was very dismissive of India's, stand and point of view. Even now they are, but things are changing. Why do you think that has happened? What could be the reason?
Sorry, ma'am, I didn't understand.
What could be the reason?
Sorry, ma'am, I didn't get.
What could be the reason that India's voice
For what,
is now
ma'am?
being heard on the foreign in foreign policy on the international stage? Why is everyone ready to talk to India, to understand India's point of view on various issues? Why do you think that has happened?
So I believe, there are many reasons. So first thing, that India is a very big market, and every big country wants to approach India's market. And the second thing, that India acts as a bridge between the power which are in the two ends, like be it Western countries and Russia, be it the global North and the global South. So I think that is why the voice of India is being heard, and India is being given priority in the international stages.
India is now has taken over the presidency of the G20. So what is one of the main?
Yes, ma'am.
What is the theme for the current G20 presidency, and which is one of the main sort of agenda items that India will be focusing on during its presidency? Of course, there are many, but one of the main issues.
And the theme is one Earth, one family, and one future.
Yes.
That is derived from our principle of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, and the focus would be on ensuring data security. I think, if I'm not wrong, I'm not sure about it.
No, so you must be a little more. What are the? I mean, there are a lot of issues, but which are one of the few main issues? It will serve as the voice of the global South. It will bring up those issues during the G20.
Global South. Yes, ma'am. Yes,
and women-led development. Okay, thank you.
Women-led development. Thank you,
ma'am. Prathama?
Yes, sir.
I'm just seeing your depth. Congratulations. You did your graduation in 21, 22. You cleared mains, and 23 you are preparing an interview.
Thank you, sir.
That's very good.
Sorry,
good.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
What is Prathama Prateekshya? Any meaning? Koi meaning hai is word ki?
Sir, I am the first child of my parents, so the name signifies Prathama, and probably they have been waiting for me. So Prateeksha. Prateeksha in Odia means to wait.
Prathama is first.
Yes, sir.
Or Prateekshya?
Yes, sir. Pratiksha means to wait. In Odia, Pratiksha means to wait. So they have been waiting for me. So they gave me the name Prathama Pratiksha.
So you enter their life first. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Anyway, good. You are from Kalahandi and you studied agriculture.
Yes, sir.
Which are the major crops of Kalahandi?
So mostly, presently it is rice, cotton, and pulses are grown here.
Rice?
Cotton and pulses. Yes, sir.
Pulses.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Rice is Kalahandi is the second biggest contributor to the in Odisha towards rice cultivation.
why is puddling necessary?
Sorry, sir.
Puddling.
Yes, sir.
If you are growing paddy, rice, you need to go for puddling in the field before you do the transplantation.
Yes, sir.
Are you getting my question? Understanding my question?
No, sir. The voice is breaking.
Puddling, dal banana.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Batao. Why do we do
Sir.
puddling in the field before transplanting?
So I think it is for aeration purposes.
For
Aeration purposes.
aeration?
Yes, sir.
Aeration or something? What do you mean here? Aeration purposes?
Sir, to provide air, oxygen.
You should give a better answer. See, wheat, rice. In wheat, we don't do puddling. Soil has to be very light, so that lot of air is in the soil. When we, but when we are preparing field for paddy, we do puddling. पानी भर करके दलदल बना देते हैं.
Yes, sir.
So there is.
So one reason I can think of now is weed control, not enable the weeds to grow. Weeds to control weeds.
Wheat. Okay, so I move on to economics, agricultural economics.
Yes, sir.
Name a famous agricultural economist.
Yes, sir.
Or name a famous agricultural scientist.
Sir, MS Swaminathan.
Swaminathan, good. And you also studied soil science. So what do you study in soil science?
So in the soil science, we study different varieties of soil, their characteristics and the issues in the different soils, and how to improve the soil for cultivation practices, and what kind of crop should be adopted in any kind of soil.
All right. So salinity is not good for crops. Am I right?
No, sir. Yes,
salinity.
Sir. Yes, sir.
So, but too much of irrigation.
Yes, sir.
Leads to salinity over a period of time if the soil is not being drained properly.
Drain properly.
So
yes, sir.
How will you check that salinity does not go high?
Sir, first thing is to ensure that the drainage facility is proper there, that water is able to drain out of the field.
So
and
the soil is not drained properly.
Yes, sir. And certain ameliorations can be done, like gypsum is added to the soil to control salinity. CSO4.
Okay. Kalahandi is a drought-prone area?
It used to be, but I don't think presently it is not the case.
Currently, it is not the case?
No, sir.
Okay. Now tell me, from the Kalahandi perspective, and you are a agriculture student, what are the bottlenecks in marketing farm produce?
So there is no focus at all on collectivizations, branding or marketing, and mostly the products which are grown, they are for the local market. They are not exported generally. And I would say that processing is not at all focused here.
Okay. Is there any shift towards cash crop?
Cash crops, sir, there is an area.
Like wheat and rice and all that.
Sir,
How
there are
you
some
shifting
areas
towards
which are, yes, sir,
usually
some
more
areas are
viable
shifting
crops?
towards coffee cultivation.
Hmm?
Some areas that this is not prevalent in all of the area, but coffee cultivation is being started in some areas of Karandi.
Mhm. Okay, you read books and you
Yes, sir.
also watch documentaries
Yes, sir.
and you are fond of Sudoku, so you are sharp. Your mind has to be sharp if you are fond of Sudoku. Hmm?
Yes.
And good habit, you read books, watch documentaries. How does it help you grow into a good human being?
Sir, there are many ways. First, I would say about the
A
books.
successful human being and a good human being. So how it makes you a good human being, a better human being?
Sir, it creates empathy within humans.
Hmm?
I think by reading books, especially the fiction books, it creates empathy. It makes us to feel the individual perspective, which from a macro view we somehow cannot understand sometimes. It creates empathy within individual.
Okay, so which documentary you saw last?
Sir, recently I saw the social dilemma.
What liked you most?
Sir, it is about the drawbacks of the social media we are using these days. So how it is changing our viewpoint, how it is driving us towards a particular directions, which may not be our decision, but someone else is guiding that decision within us.
Please.
Good afternoon, Prathama.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay. So you like watching documentaries and you like Hindi songs, and you also happen to be a student of sociology. So I'll ask you a
Yes, sir.
related question. Do you think that is society a bad influence on cinema?
So it's society a bad influence in cinema?
Yeah.
So I don't think society is a bad influence in cinema, because society gives some perspective to the cinema, and cinema in return also gives something to society to work on, and cinema can provide us a way to improvise also. For example, movies like Toilet, movies like Padman, they have influenced a lot in taking our society towards a positive direction.
In your opinion, the reverse is happening. Do you think in this age of social media and activism, hyperactivism, is society actively guiding what they want to watch and what will be acceptable?
So to some extent it is happening, but not entirely.
Okay. Which particular book inspired you the most?
Sir, I have read one book, 12th Fail. It is about a student who has failed 12th, but ultimately he came to clear the UPSC Civil Service examination.
Okay. And which one is the latest book that got Booker Prize?
Sir, it is the English translation of the tomb, English translation of the Reet Ki Samadhi, which is the Tomb of Sand, written by Gitanjali Sri.
Okay, you
India.
need to check on that. Booker Prize, no, you need to check on that again. Okay. So what according to you are elements of Sashakti-karan?
Women's Shakti-karan?
General? Human beings?
Sorry, sir?
Anybody's Sashakti-karan? You've been a meritorious scholarship holder of Yuva Sashakti-karan Yojana. So what are the elements of
Yes.
Sashakti-karan?
So I believe the first and the foremost thing to empower is education. Education not only in terms of bookish education, but also the educations which can be of use in individual's life, and which can change the society in a positive direction. And after that, I would consider health-related needs of the society is these are the two most important things to lead a society towards empowerment.
Okay. And is Chilka Lake an ecotone or is it an ecocline?
So it is an ecotone.
Ecotone. Okay,
Yes, sir.
please do check on that again. And another thing which troubles Odisha government is Naxalism. Do you think it's becoming a problem that educated people are joining the ranks of Naxal leaders?
Not sure, sir. I mean, this is the urban Naxal term is getting popularized, but something like that is not a policy or not a statement of the government of India till date. And I believe that lack of facilities in the Naxal area is one of the prime reason why they are joining Naxalism. And I don't think that is the case.
Okay. What is son meta preference?
So son meta preference is when the parents they wait for the son, and even if irrespective of the number of children they already are having.
Okay. So is that the case in your family? Have you seen it happening in your family or people around you?
No, sir, that is not the case in my family because we are two sisters only.
Okay, great. And who's your role model and why?
Sir, my mother.
Why?
Because she was the first woman who entered into the service sector in our family. And she was the one who brought me up and who inspired me to pursue my education properly. And she always inspires me. So that is why she's the role model. And she's presently a teacher and she does her work really honestly. So that is why she's my role model.
Okay, one last question. Do you think making Jammu and Kashmir a union territory a good move by the Indian government?
Sir, I think it was not the final move, but it is a transitory move, and the government has stated that if the condition in Jammu and Kashmir improvises, then they will reinstate the statehood to Jammu and Kashmir.
Okay, that's it. Thank you so much.
So for the time being, to have increased control over that reason, they have taken that move.
Okay.
Thank you, Prathama.
Thank you,
That's
sir.
the end of
Thank
your
you, sir.
interview. Now we'll give you the feedback. One thing
Yes,
you have
sir.
to be careful of is your use of the language. You said children's, and you said if the situation in J&K improvises, you meant improves. See, each word of yours is being listened to carefully by the board. You cannot afford to make such mistakes. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
You have to brush up on agriculture and women and child-centric issues.
Okay, sir.
Plus, you'll be asked a lot about education because both your parents have been
Parents.
assistant teachers. We didn't ask you,
Yes,
but
sir.
you have to RTE. You must be familiar with throughout.
Yes,
Just
sir.
read it through and through. Then be careful also when you say Swaminathan. It should be Mr. Swaminathan, Mr. M.S. Swaminathan. Take the full name with Mr. before that. You just said Swaminathan. That is not right. Okay, there has to be a respectful attitude. So overall, you've done well. You are confident, you are articulate, but also you need to be more aware of your hobbies. Sudoku, documentaries, your answers were not satisfactory. Who is the creator? Who is known as the father of Sudoku? What does Sudoku mean? All those things you should know. Just Google and you'll find out everything is at the tip now of your fingers.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Documentaries, everything that breathes is the entry. You should know about that.
Okay, sir.
Okay, all the best. You'll do very well. Just iron these things out. And MMR, you give the wrong answer. If you don't know the answer, please say, I don't know. Don't give the wrong answer. It's about 1,000 live births. It's not about the number of females bearing children. It is a live births. Okay. So when you don't know, and I gave you a hint also, whether it's live births or not, but you insisted on that, and later I found that you had given the wrong answer. See, everything is there at the tip of one's finger. So if you don't, better to say I don't know. So best of luck.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
I'll add to that. You again, if you don't know, don't give the answer and think. If you think you need a moment, you can say, can I take a moment to get my thoughts in place? Because I asked you something, I told you what is the foreign policy in the last 75 years, how its evolution is. You started talking of something else. we started with, at independence, we had a particular policy, then we had non-alignment, then we moved away from that. And, the economic reforms further were an element in our foreign policy. So, and now again, it's a kind of multi-alignment. So it's always been in national interest, but how it has evolved over the years and where there's been continuity and change. So listen to the answer, think for a moment, put your thoughts together, and then speak, and briefly.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So focus on that. So you can just get a little brushing up on all these things. And again, G20 is very current, so you need to know what is there, what are the main issues, what is it talking about, what is it, theme was okay, but what are its main, on its main agenda item, there are many things, of course, but what are the main issues that it would be focusing on? So just brush up your information, read up a little more, and I'm sure you will do well because you're very articulate, you speak well, you're very, overall, you're quite well sort of versed with things. But again, if you don't know, say, I don't know, or ask for a moment to just think, put your thoughts together. So for this, you could, write down for your preparation, write down various subjects which are current and related to your DAF, etc., and put bullet points in front on each issue, but 3-4 points, which you should focus on when you're replying. So if you have those bullet points in mind, when you answer, your thoughts will come together much quicker. All right? All the best. Okay. We hope you will do it.
Thank you,
first attempt you are here. So I think if you just polish up a little bit, I'm sure you will do well. All the very best.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Well, Prathama, every point which has been mentioned,
So,
keep that in your mind and work on that. Okay. You are
Yes, sir.
fresh from
Yes, sir.
college, 21, 22. So this is to your advantage. Even interview board will also consider it. Just fresh from college, the freshers have some advantage. They may not be knowing some things. In college, you are primarily focused on studying your subject.
subjects.
You are out of college and you cleared your mains. So it is supposed that you are very good about your subject. So with that in my mind, I asked you an ordinary question, Padling. Now I am not an agricultural scientist. There may not be any agricultural scientist on the interview board. So if a question comes about agriculture, it will be common sense based, observation based.
Okay, sir.
All right. So observation based is what? When we are growing wheat, we don't puddle field. But for paddy, we puddle it. हम वहाँ दलदल बना देते हैं, पानी भर देते हैं. क्यों करते हैं? So these are all questions which will emanate from somebody who is not an agricultural scientist, but who is a keen observer, who observes things. So you be ready on these things. You should not be found wanting. It will carry a wrong impression. You are just fresh from college. You cannot say that I have forgotten.
Yes, sir.
Though your optional is something different. Sociology. But still, you are fresh from college. You studied all these things. Soil science, plant pathology, etc., etc. So be better prepared. You have some time. Know everything about the area you belong to, because Kalahandi, the name, is a bit emotive. When an outsider hears of Kalahandi, some picture will come in the mind. All right. Kalahandi, Bhukmari, poverty, drought, this, that. But as you said, it is not like this now. The things have improved. So you should be in a position to tell in a very cogent manner. Yes, Kalahandi was at a time very backward. Nobody wanted to come here. Nobody wanted to live here, sort of things. But now it has changed for good.
Yes, sir.
Subject, everything which is in your DEF, you belong to Odisha. There may be any number of questions about Odisha. It's a coastal state, so there can be questions concerning the coast. Fine?
Yes, sir.
Prepare
Yes,
well.
sir.
You are a good candidate. You can get through in the very first attempt.
Thank you.
All right?
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Prathama, I mean, you need to work on, of course, Odisha related topics, agriculture and sociology. all the current affairs related to these three things: Odisha, agriculture, sociology. Current affairs.
Sociology, yes.
Okay, and जो वो get in touch with the team, तो इन सभी के current affairs बने हुए हैं कुछ तो वो question ये तो तैयार करो. Okay, then जैसे books पढ़ रहे हो तो books में जो literature का Nobel मिल जाता है, और Booker is a different thing and international Booker is a different thing. These are two awards. Booker मिलता है all to the book जो कि English में ही लिखी गई थी. International Booker to the book which is translated to English. ठीक है, तो डिफरेंट है. तो या इंटरनेशनल बुकर गीतांजलि श्री को मिला था टूम ऑफ सैंड के लिए, लेकिन बुकर मिला किसको? श्रीलंका वाली किताब थी जो 7 मून्स ऑफ माली एल्मीडा. ठीक है, तो अब डिफरेंट है. तो अगर आप बुक्स पढ़ रहे हो तो यू नीड टू नो दीज आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट अवार्ड्स. ठीक है, और जो इनके नॉट ओनली अबाउट द अवार्ड्स बट अबाउट द बुक्स में क्या लिखा हुआ है, क्या कहानी है. आई एम नॉट रियली आस्किंग टू गो एंड स्टार्ट रीडिंग दोस बुक्स, एटलीस्ट रीड अ फ्यू रिव्यूज, उनके बारे में थोड़ा पढ़ना पड़ेगा. ठीक है, क्यों? अगर इन केस अगर 1-2 सवाल आ गए तो अगर आप बुक पैशनेट हो एंड यू लाइक टू रीडिंग, मे बी यू एंथुसियास्टिक अबाउट बुक्स, तो ये पता करके जाओगे तो थोड़ा सा कॉन्फिडेंट भी जाओगे. एटलीस्ट ना यू विल बी नोइंग जो बड़ी बातें. डिटेल में जाके कोई पूछ ले तुमसे कोई किसी किताब के बारे में, दैट्स अ सेपरेट स्टोरी है ना, वहाँ पे यू कैन ऑलवेज से नो. लेकिन यहाँ पर तो ये पढ़ के जाएंगे हम. ठीक है, तो ये कुछ बेसिक सी चीजें. ठीक है, तो ओके, दीज थ्री थिंग्स, ओडिशा, एग्रीकल्चर एंड सोशियोलॉजी, बिल्कुल एकदम टॉप नॉच चाहिए. ओके.
Any questions which you have for us?
Yes, sir. I had one question that from this year onwards, the railway management services exam will be conducted differently. But I belong to agriculture background and I have chosen that. So if they ask me why have you chosen, so what should be my answer?
Why have you chosen it? What is the reason? There must be a reason in your mind. What is that reason?
No particular reason as well.
No, you have to think of it. It has to come convincingly from yourself. No, nobody can provide you an answer for that because you have chosen it. Think about it. See,
Okay, sir.
There's no right or wrong answer to it. It's how you convince the board. So you think of a convincing answer, and that will be good enough.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. All the best.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.